Chapter 1. Understanding Plot. Writing fiction is the act of weaving a series of lives to arrive at a greater truth. Khaled Hosseini. You may not think plot is all that difficult to understand, or to put it a different way, you may not think there's all that much to understand about plot. It's just making stuff up, right? Figuring out what happens next? Wrong. There's much more to it, and until you understand that, you're unlikely to come up with the plot that best serves your characters and snares readers into an unforgettable reading experience. If you've read my book, Story Structure, you know the essential elements that must be laid out: the inciting incident, plot points, turning points, climax, and so forth. But knowing what you need is not the same as knowing how to write it. If you've read my book, Creating Character, you may know what kind of journey your protagonist needs to take. But knowing where they're going is not the same as knowing how to get them there. In this book, I'll discuss how you can map out that journey in the most gripping, engaging, exciting way possible to create a book filled with power and emotion and urgent human need. So what is plot? Plot is the writer's choice of events to tell the story of the character's progression toward their goals or desires. What do your characters really want? This may be a classic case of a definition that, while accurate, makes this sound more complicated than it has to be. Plot is about the relationship between the characters and the story's structure. Your main characters want something. That's what motivates the action of the book. The protagonist's journey is the movement toward that goal. So when plotting, you decide what steps must be taken to create the journey from where your main character is at the start of the book to where she will be at the end. There are many possible journeys. Your job as a writer is to determine which is best. Your protagonist must want something, and there must be something preventing her from immediately obtaining it. That's conflict, the lifeblood of story. This opposition may be represented by an antagonist or antagonists, but there must be some kind of conflict, something that stands in the protagonist's way. Plot will describe the manner by which the conflict leads to action, and the action keeps the story moving until it reaches its climax. A character is defined by the choices he makes under pressure. So for character to be relieved, there must be pressure, which is generated by conflict. When plotting, you must provide enough stressful situations to reveal the character's inner nature. You may notice that I can barely say a word about plot without also mentioning character. For good reason. They are two sides of the same coin working hand in hand to bring your story to life. To quote F. Scott Fitzgerald, character is plot. Plot is character. Perhaps you're contemplating a popular fiction blockbuster, so you're thinking you can get by with superficial characters and stereotypes. Bad idea. I can't say it's never been done, but it's the wrong approach, especially if you're hoping to write something wonderful, something that lingers beyond next week's sales reports. Or perhaps you're writing women's fiction or something literary, so you think plot will not be that important. Maybe you're thinking you can skip this book altogether. Let's not do anything drastic. Granted, not all books are the same, and that's a good thing. Different books provide different kinds of appeal for different audiences. There are differences between, say, The Taming of the Shrew and The Hunger Games. But the differences aren't about character, because both have fascinating characters. And the differences aren't about plot either, because both tell engaging stories. So what is the difference?